Hi, and welcome to Storiez. This week's episode is on entrepreneurship. Hello, and welcome to Storiez on Yanga TV, a talk show where we discuss the topics that you, our viewers at home, are talking about with inspiring, inclusive guests who are slaying in their lane. Our first guest is Stephen Ugoala, who you may recognize from season 10 of the BBC Apprentice. Quite a few entrepreneurs applied for that show. I think there are over 75,000 applicants in that particular season. And he is the first and only black gay entrepreneur that has contested. Welcome to the show, Stephen.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So you're from Canada. How did you end up here in the UK?
Well, that's a good question and an interesting story as well.
Yeah.
So what happened is that I finished university and what I did is I went and I lived in the North Pole for a year. I worked.
Okay.
I got my degree in social work, and so I was actually doing community development. It was really exciting work with the remote Inuit community there. I was traveling. I would travel to many of the remote communities. Some of them had never really seen outsiders at all, let alone someone who looked like me. But you know, it was needless to say, it was quite the icebreaker.
As a social worker, and then from there you decided, too cold, I'll go to somewhere with amazing weather, let's do the UK.
I didn't plan to move permanently in the UK. Yeah. What happened was I was going to just have another experience in the UK. And so what happened is that I moved to the UK, and before I knew it, within a few months of living here, I bought two properties.
Amazing. So as a property entrepreneur, which we'll get into in a second, how did you then decide, or how did you then end up on The Apprentice?
That's another really good question. So the story of the Apprentice is that I actually wanted to start a supported living home for adults with moderate to high level learning disabilities. Yeah. And so I thought to myself, I'd like to get some funding from Lord Sugar. That's why I thought it would be. I thought that's why I applied. It was to start a supported.
Because the show had changed at that point from being Lord Sugar's apprentice to being his business partner.
Yeah, it still has the name. The show, I think, it still has the name The Apprentice, but basically my interest was I didn't want to be an apprentice. I wanted a business partner.
Understood.
So basically, that was what I.
And you thought Lord Sugar would be the perfect business partner.
Yes, I did. I did. Yes.
What's he like in person? Is he really that scary?
Well, I mean, I think that the media portrays him to be a little bit scary, but I thought he was very nice and straight shooting. I mean, I think it's sort of a British thing. I mean, being from Canada, I mean, it's like there's a having lived here a while, there's a certain Britishness about it. I mean, he's a straight talker, as they call it. And I think there's definitely a place for that. You can learn a lot from someone like that.
Until he definitely doesn't seem to pull any punches.
No. I've had a run-in or two with him on the show.
I can imagine.
And it was, publicly aired, so yes.
Oh dear. We'll have to come to that at some point. But also, before we let you go, I wanted to ask about your own new business, because post The Apprentice, you've obviously gone back to your real estate business. Is that something you can...
Yes. So
shed some more light on?
I have a company called Property Resolution, and so it's a real estate buying and selling company. Yes.
Amazing. So now you buy and sell property around the world, or in the UK? Okay.
Yes.
Nice. And do you still speak with Lord Sugar? Is he a business partner with Property Resolution?
No, I don't. I don't speak with. I don't speak with Lord Sugar. No, I mean.
Is there a restraining order there somewhere?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have any communication with Lord Sugar. The communication was really only during the time of The Apprentice, and it was a good experience, which I appreciate the opportunity which I had.
And what did it teach you about entrepreneurship that you now apply to your current business?
You know, what I learned from that experience is the importance of really being focused as an entrepreneur. Yes.
Absolutely. I can imagine as an entrepreneur with so many opportunities in front of you, given your background, your media personality, and your talent, being focused is probably one of the key decisions you have to make in order to drive forward any particular projects you're working on.
Yeah, because the thing is, if you have a good focus, then it helps you make the right decisions, and you have to be on a lot of the time you find yourself on your toes.
That's brilliant. Don't go anywhere, as there'll be more chat coming up, and we've got another special guest on the show. Now, welcome to the show, Dan Yomi. Dan is a UK-based consultant, social entrepreneur, and executive director of Living Free UK, an organization that supports and validates the lived experiences of queer Africans and people seeking asylum, as well as refugees. He is also the host of Living Free with Dan, a YouTube show which dispels the myths around African queerness and mental health. Dan gained international recognition after coming out on social media in 2018. Prior to this, he was elected the first Black president of Bournemouth University Student Union and served as the chair of the Board of Trustees. Dan also volunteers on the Board of Directors for House of Rainbow. And still with us, Stephen Ugola. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you, Nzube, for having me. Glad to be here.
A pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
So, you ran the first ever Pan-African competition for entrepreneurs. That just blew my mind when I first heard about that. What inspired you to run that competition, and what was it like?
Oh, God. I mean, first, thanks for the space, to be able to talk about the event. So basically, the competition was hosted by the Cool Off Zone. So the Cool Off Zone is a club I started on Clubhouse. So for those who know Clubhouse. So basically, the aim was to connect with queer Africans, mainly on the continent. So we do daily events, we host all kinds of shows. And I think from my day-to-day conversations with the members, I just sort of realized, there were people with amazing ideas, entrepreneurial skills, like business plans and all of that, but who didn't have the funding for that, And as someone who is a fan of The Apprentice, I got shortlisted, one of the series.
Right, so you applied for The Apprentice?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So I sort of knew how it ran, but mostly was to sort of create an opportunity for people, queer Africans, right, who needed the funding to do stuff. So I drafted the challenges. I basically co-opted The Apprentice, put it on the app. We had over about 40 people audition.
Nice.
It just blew my mind, people with good business ideas, those who, from tech, from, in the arts and stuff like that.
And what parts of the continent did these 40 people come from?
Across, actually. We had people from Ghana, from Nigeria. But of course, the Cool Off Zone is mainly Nigerians are everywhere. Come on.
Yes.
So I think most of the participants are from Nigeria.
Yes.
But the club in itself is for Africans.
Okay.
Yeah. So I spoke to judges, from in the States, Nigerians across, even Africans, whether South African on the panel. But yeah, I think it was just beautiful. One thing that stood out was the type of challenges we threw out to these people.
Yeah.
Challenges such as, who is your queer African hero? What are the ideas to propose to Clubhouse to make it safe for queer Africans? And just seeing people put in those skills and just scale through the weeks. It was like The Apprentice, for me, except that this time it was for queer Africans. We're going to use that money. And the club actually did fundraise $500,000 in over $1,000 just, to award someone for their skills.
Amazing. So and all of this is done on the Cool Off Zone on
Cool Off Zone,
Clubhouse.
On Clubhouse,
okay.
Yes.
Well, I'd have loved to be on the Cool Off Zone, but apparently I'm not cool enough to be in Clubhouse.
You get in there. We're opening it up to 100 users very soon. Don't worry.
There's apparently a Nigerian lady that's been hired by the Clubhouse team to work on the engineering of the Android development. But let's talk about Clubhouse another day. Okay. But back to the Clubhouse. If you're on Twitter Spaces, I'll be so all over that. But so you ran this competition, had the contestants, and what was the outcome?
It was great, because it was sort of the first. Clubhouse in itself is usually for vibes, and we're just doing, we do all sorts. But I think to do something different, I wouldn't say serious because everything is serious as well. Something different, to sort of profile the skills we have within the queer community and also on the continent, you know. And I think as someone who has the privilege to be queer, to be in London, right, to have the platforms I have, so I just thought, you know what, why not? But the fact that the money was raised by the community, by the members who bought into that vision, you know, from the judges I spoke to and the people who auditioned, you know, it was beautiful. We're having people asking for season 2 already, you know, and people willing to sponsor the next season, so it was great.
And who won the competition?
Oh, wow. Sheung Adisa Komolede. So he's the founder of Fitila Candles, handcrafted beeswax scented candles, environmental friendly. He's an amazing guy, and I really can't wait for, you know, people to get to, you know, hopefully in a moment.
Well, actually, earlier this week, we spoke with Sheung, the winner of your first competition, and we talked about what that experience was for him, as well as what he plans to do next. So, here's the recording.
Oluwa Sheung, welcome to Storiez, and thank you so much for joining us. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what your business is?
Thank you very much. My name is Oluwa Sheung. I'm 26 years old. I'm an international relations graduate of Equites University Dance Lagras, Benin Republic. My career goal is to become a successful entrepreneur and to use my passion to help the young lives of African youth, and to also become an angel investor in future. Thank you very much.
And how about your business?
Oh, my business is Fitila. Fitila is a scented candle business that is aimed at an objective is to produce 100% eco-friendly candles to the general public, aesthetic feeling candles to the general public, while also producing like 100%, because I'm passionate about the environment, and the aim and objective is to produce eco-friendly, fragrance scented candles to the general public.
That's inspiring. Thank you, Oluwa Sheung. And can you tell us a little bit more about how you found the competition and what was it like for you going through that competition, please?
I found out about the competition on Clubhouse. And to prepare for the competition, I actually watched prior clips of the Apprentice competition to prepare for the competition. I watched clips on YouTube and other social media platforms to prepare for the competition. I also did mock-up question and answers, possible question and answers to be able to like answer questions like for the competition. The competition went on for 3 days, and he spent sleepless nights to prepare for like topics for the competition alongside my other 19 competitors in the competition. It also helped me because I was a leader for some time in the group competitions. It also helped me to become a good leader, also to become a very great follower too, because I listened to my group members to assist and help them win our group challenges. So thank you very much.
Brilliant. Sounds very inspiring. Well done, and we wish you all the best for the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Zubir.
That was amazing.
Proud of him
again.
Yeah, thank you. Proud of him. I think he really stood out amongst the judges. You know, his consistency, especially when he became a project manager. You know, just like the show, the way he brought his team together and led them to victory. But mostly the story behind his business and the plans. Just couldn't have wished for another person.
Was any of that familiar for you, Stephen? You know, did it bring flashbacks of The Apprentice?
Well, I a bit, with the tasks. The tasks, It's a really good. That's a really good idea. Yeah,
because something we did was, of course, we would split them into 2 teams, right? Yeah. We would appoint project managers and stuff like that, and we had a boardroom on stage, right? So the audience had to vote for the winning team, and the losing team remained on stage, and then we literally told someone you were fired. Of course, Clubhouse, but again, sort of simulated the main show, and I thought it was fantastic.
Oh,
brilliant. And also, if you don't mind me asking a little bit about your personal background as well, because you have a very unique story, and you're originally from Nigeria.
Yes,
you're now settled
Nigeria
here in the UK.
Yeah.
So tell us, what was that journey like for you as an out queer man?
Yeah, no, good question. I came to the UK in 2014 for my master's, and I came to study international technology. I'd done IT in Nigeria back. Yeah, and I came here for my master's degree. It was a good experience, but I think something that stood out was how coming here gave me the confidence to be able to live my truth, the audacity to be myself. And growing up core in Nigeria, in a religious home. All of that just meant I was in the closet. I didn't have the privilege I have now, you know, to be myself. Fast forward, I then ran to become the first Black president of the Bournemouth University Students' Union. Again, that platform gave me this huge opportunity to connect with people across the world, but to help me go on my own journey of self, you know, discover who I am. Then left the job in 2018, came to London, started working as a program consultant. Then I came out on social media, and yeah, that went viral with a lot of backlash, you know, threats. But I think what came off that was the need for me to use my story to validate the experiences of other people, you know, which saw the birth of Living Free UK, you know, an organization that now supports LGBT Africans, you know, asylum seekers and refugees, because, you know, something my mom told me when I came out was, oh, I thought being gay was white. And I was like, I'm not white, I'm gay, right? Yeah. So I kind of did not blame her because, you know, we don't have enough representation, you know, you know, Black or LGBT, you know, queer individuals. So, so
there are lots of parallels. There are lots of stories there that I would love to unpick, and people also, I'm sure, recognize in their own personal stories. However, that's all we have time for right now in this part of the show. Don't go too far. There'll be more tea spilled on Stay Story right after this.